Trash talking is a huge part of sports. It makes for good entertainment. Sometimes players and coaches are able to back up their talk. Other times, things just go horribly wrong. These are 10 times trash talking went horribly wrong in football. 1. Materazzi trash talking Zidane. In extra time of the 2006 World Cup final between France and Italy, things got super heated and players were already getting exhausted. So Marco Materazzi decided to take advantage of that to get under the skin of France's best player with some trash talking. He probably expected that he would get into Zidane's head and just make him lose concentration. But what he never expected was this. I think Zidane took the advice, use your head, a little too literally and got a red card for it. But Zizou didn't care. The Italian had the guts to involve his sister in his trash talk and he had to pay. He didn't care if it was the World Cup final. And speaking of the World Cup, trash talking also went horribly wrong in the 2022 edition. Number 2, Van Gaal and the Netherlands versus Argentina. Just before the 2022 World Cup quarterfinal game between the Netherlands and Argentina, Louis Van Gaal made an interview boldly claiming they had no fear of Argentina. He even went as far as calling Messi a liability. Virgil Van Dyke also joined in on the trash talking, confidently saying that he wasn't losing any sleep over the match and that they weren't worried about Messi. Well, they should have been worried, very worried. Messi went on to assist the first goal and he scored the second. After scoring, he went to the Dutch bench and did this. Louis Van Gaal and his pack really ate their words that day. But the Dutch were not even the first to trash talk Messi in that tournament. 3. Where is Messi? After Argentina shockingly lost the opening game of the 2022 World Cup to Saudi Arabia, one Saudi fan went viral for this interview.
Give me that. Excuse me, where is Messi? Where is Messi? Where is Messi?
Yeah, he would go on to regret that. Not only did Messi score in 5 of the next 6 games in the tournament, he went on to win the whole thing while Saudi Arabia couldn't even make it out of the group. Where is Messi, you ask? On top of the world, that's where. And you know what's crazy? That wasn't even the first time fans got involved in trash talking and it went horribly wrong. 4. Liverpool fans trash talking Haaland. Haaland's move to Manchester City was the most anticipated transfer in the summer of 2022. As usual, fans wanted to see him succeed, while ops wanted to see him fail. So when he stepped out for his first official game as a Man City player in the Community Shield game against Liverpool, the entire world was watching. As things turned out, it wasn't the best of debuts. He failed to score and even missed an open goal. Meanwhile, Liverpool's new striker, Darwin Núñez, scored and won a penalty. So Liverpool fans took advantage of that and started trash talking Haaland and Man City. Liverpool fans swore they got the better striker that summer. Well, safe to say that Haaland had the last laugh. He scored over 50 goals, broke numerous records, and won Man City the treble, while Liverpool went trophyless, finished outside the top 4, and Darwin Núñez couldn't even get up to 20 goals plus assists in all competitions. Nah, the trash talking really went horribly wrong for Liverpool in the 2022 through 2023 season. And actually, trash talking has gone horribly wrong more often than not for Liverpool. This next one was not even the fans. It was a player. 5. Manuel Neuer to Messi. Ahead of the 2015 Champions League semi-final between Barcelona and Bayern Munich, Neuer said in a press conference that he was going to show Messi who's boss. He said it so confidently like he already knew the results of the game before it even started. Well, Messi did not utter any word in reply. His reply came on the pitch. Barcelona won that game 3-0 with Messi scoring 2 of the goals. If they were 2 lucky or ordinary goals, it would have been easier for Neuer to still somehow maintain his pride, but then Messi did this.
That's astonishing. It's absolutely world-class.
Nah, that right there was the final blow. Messi didn't have to say a single word, but he made Neuer eat all his words. That day, Neuer learned who really is the boss, and it's surely not him. 6. Dane St. Clair versus Shaqiri. In an MLS game between Minnesota and Chicago, a penalty was awarded to Chicago, and former Bayern and Liverpool winger Shaqiri stepped up. The young Minnesota goalkeeper then thought it wise to try and rattle the 2-time UEFA Champions League winner by getting under his skin. So he told Shaqiri, "You have no balls," and he tried to place the ball on the spot for the kick. Well, look at how Shaqiri replied.
Shaqiri
as a goalkeeper, if you dare to attempt any form of trash talking before a penalty, just make sure you save it because it could very easily go horribly wrong for you. 7. Kurzawa taunting Sweden. This next one came in an under-21 Euros qualifier game in 2014 between France and Sweden. Going into the game, Sweden needed to win by 3 goals to go through. They got their 3 goals, but Kurzawa scored for France in the 87th minute and he thought he had stolen the victory, so he sarcastically celebrated in the face of Sweden's John Guidetti. The Frenchman didn't say anything, but that celebration was enough trash talk. Well, Kurzawa's karma came more quickly than expected. Just 1 minute later, Sweden scored again and actually won the game this time around. And guess what? They all recreated the Kurzawa celebration to mock him, but it didn't even end there. Interestingly, Sweden went on to win the competition, and as they posed with the trophy, they took another dig at Kurzawa by doing the celebration yet again. Damn, Kurzawa's trash talk really went horribly wrong. Let's now head to Manchester for the next one. 8. Subotic mocks Robben after penalty miss. The 2012 Bundesliga title race was crazy. Unsurprisingly, the battle was between Borussia Dortmund and Bayern Munich, and it was all down to 1 game between the two giants. Robert Lewandowski, still playing for Dortmund at the time, put Dortmund ahead in the 77th minute. Bayern then got a chance to equalize in the 85th minute when Robben was fouled in the box. Robben himself stepped up to take the crucial penalty, but he missed. Then boom! Neven Subotic from nowhere jumped in front of Robben, screaming in his face and saying some words to him. Robben didn't say anything back. He would do his talking with the ball the following season. Robben scored an 89th minute winner in the Champions League final against Dortmund, and guess who was the last defender he passed before scoring? Yes, Subotic. Subotic trash-talked Robben for missing a penalty in a league game, and Robben dunked on him by scoring the winning goal in a Champions League final, which also completed the treble for Bayern. Trash-talking really went horribly wrong right there. And speaking of finals, reminds me of the 2006 World Cup final when a player was punished for his trash-talking instantly. 9. Sir Alex calls Man City noisy neighbors. Ever wonder why Manchester City are often referred to as the noisy neighbors? It's because of this interview from Sir Alex Ferguson in 2009.
We have a neighbour, and sometimes neighbours are noisy. You can't do anything about them.
Well, since that interview, United have won just 2 Premier League titles, 1 FA Cup, and no Champions League, while Manchester City have won 6 Premier League titles, 3 FA Cups, and 1 Champions League. City even completed the European treble somewhere in there. So, who are the noisy neighbors now? But Alex Ferguson is not even the only United coach who has tried to trash talk Manchester City and seen it backfire. 10. Atletico fans mock Cristiano Ronaldo. In the 2019 Champions League, Atletico Madrid went up against Cristiano Ronaldo's Juventus, and the Spaniards won the first leg 2-0. Following their victory, the Atletico fans had a lot to say about the former Real Madrid player. All the trash talk during and after the match were directed towards the Portuguese. Even Diego Simeone, the Atletico coach, had his own fun with his very unusual celebration. They basically all had a good-ass time that night, not knowing it was about to get absolutely wrong for them in the second leg. In the return leg, Cristiano Ronaldo scored a hat-trick and single-handedly turned the game around to knock Atletico out of the competition, and he made sure to recreate the celebration Simeone did in the first leg. What a guy! You know what? Maybe footballers, coaches, and even fans need to watch their mouths a little more, because trash talking can really go horribly wrong in football.